Hi everyone, my name is Likaila Kagurangan and I'm here to explain multiplication of radicals. But first, what is a radical? Radicals with different index numbers cannot be multiplied together. The symbol used to indicate root of a number is known as radicals. The square root, cube root can be expressed by using the radical symbol. The radicals also mean that the root
Hello everyone, my name is Jibian El Nagat and I am here to teach you how to multiply binomials involving radicals. So here we have an example problem which is the square root of 2 plus the square root of 7 multiplied to the square root of 8 minus the square root of 6. So here we're gonna apply the FOIL method which involves multiplying the first term, outer terms, and the inner term and the last term. So the result of by multiplying these numbers will be the square root of 16 minus the square root of 12 plus the square root of 56 minus the square root of 42. Now 16 here is a perfect square. That's why we will get its square root, which is 4 squared. And since 12 isn't a perfect square, we're gonna get its factors, which is 4 times 3. And 4, we can simplify it further by 2 squared. And we're gonna apply the same also for the number 56 by multiplying 14 times 4 by its factors of 14 and 4. So 4 is a perfect square, and that's why we'll have the 2 squared over here, and 42 isn't also a perfect square, but it doesn't have any factors that has a perfect square in it. So the result of all of this would be 4 minus 2 times the square root of 3 plus 2 minus times the square root of 14 minus the square root of 42.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jan Kenneth D. Peña, and I will teach you how to multiply radicals with the same order. So we have the given here, square root of 3r squared s cubed t raised to the 5th power times square root of 12 r cubed s squared t. So the resulting product is square root of 36 r raised to the 5th power s raised to the 5th power and t raised to the 6th power. So in order to get this resulting exponent, you need to add the exponent of the same variable. So since we need to get the square root, we need to simplify it. So 6 squared, then r squared raised to the 2nd power, and s squared raised to the 2nd power, and t cubed raised to the 2nd power multiply by the square root of rs. So when you multiply the 2 by 2, it becomes 4. So it will not satisfy the r raised to the 5th exponent here. So we need to add 1 more r and 1 more s in order to get this 5. So the resulting product of this example is 6r squared s squared t cubed and square root of r.
Hi everyone, I'm Rapunzel Antonia and I'm here to teach you how to multiply this example. So the given is x minus 1 minus the square root of 2 multiplied by x minus 1 plus the square root of 2 equals the x minus 1 squared minus 2. So the reason why we have x minus 1 squared is because we have a similar term, which is x minus 1 times x minus 1. Then if you multiply minus the square root of 2 multiplied by the positive square root of 2, the product will be minus 2. Then if you square the x minus 1, the product will be x squared minus 2x plus 1, then copy the negative 2.
So everyone, here's the answer for the number 2 in our practice exercise. The given is x plus 3 plus the square root of 3 multiplied to x plus 3 minus the square root of 3. So to simplify it, we could write x plus 3 squared, and if we multiply square root of 3 to the square root of 3, will be equal to square root of 9, and the square root of 9 is 3, is negative 3. And the answer to x plus 3 squared will be x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 3. And from here, we will combine like terms, which will result to x squared plus 6x plus 6.
So the answer in number 3 practice exercise is here. So in order to get the answer, we need to multiply the whole number to whole number. So the whole number here is 2 and 2. So multiply 2 times 2, 4. Then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9. So the square root of 9 is 3. Then square root of 6 times square root of 6 is square root of 36. So the square root of 36 is negative 6 since the sign here is different. So 4 times 3 is 12. Then bring down the minus 6. Then 12 minus 6, the answer is 6.
Since we're done exploring radicals and we had given you some examples and teach you how to multiply radicals, let's move on our quiz. Number 1. 3 square root of 6 multiplied to 5 square root of 2 minus 7 square root of 3. Step 1. Distribute or FOIL to remove the parentheses. Remember that you can multiply numbers outside the radical with the numbers outside the radical and numbers inside the radical with numbers. Number 2. 3 square root of 2 minus 5 square root of 3 multiplied to 2 square root of 5 plus 7 square root of 6. Step 1. FOIL. Step 2. Simplify the radicals. Step 3. Combine like terms. Remember that in order to add or subtract radicals, the radicals must be exactly the same. In this case, there are no like terms. Number 3. 3 square root of 10 plus 2 square root of 5 multiplied to 4 square root of 10 minus 5 square root of 5. Step 1. Distribute to remove the parentheses. Step 2. Simplify the radicals. And step 3. Combine like terms. Remember that in order to add or subtract radicals, the radicals must be exactly the same. Number 4. 6 square root of 12 minus 5 square root of 2 squared. Solution. Step 1. Distribute to remove the parentheses. Step 2. Simplify the radicals. And step 3. Combine like terms. Remember that in order to add or subtract radicals, the radicals must be exactly the same.
Number 5. The given is 3 the square root of x plus 5 square root of y multiplied by 2 the square root of x minus 4 square root of y. Step 1. Distribute to remove the parentheses. Step 2. Simplify the radicals. Step 3. Combine like terms. Remember that in order to add or subtract radicals, the radicals must be exactly the same.
Step 3. Multiply the whole numbers. So the whole number here is 15 and 2. So 15 times 2, 30. Then bring down the square root of 5. Here is negative 18 and positive 4. So negative 72 square root of 5. And combine like terms. 30 plus negative 72 is negative 42. Copy the square root of 5. So the given in number 2 is 2 binomials. So we need to use the FOIL property. So the product of first term here is 15 square root of s squared. The outer term is negative 40 square root of xy. The inner term is negative 12 square root of xy. And the last term is positive 32 square root of y squared. So the next step is get its square root. So the square root of x squared is x. So bring down the 15x. Here is square root of xy is a perfect square. So So bring down, and the inner term is also like the outer term, and the last term is a perfect square. So the square root of y squared is y. So copy the 32 and it's 32y. The last step is combine like terms. So negative 40 plus negative 12 is negative 52 square root of xy. So the answer is 15x minus 52 square root of xy plus 32y. So the given in number 3 is a square of binomial. So the first thing to do is square the first term. So 3x minus 5 squared. Next is twice the product of first and the last term. So here. Then lastly, squared the last term. So positive 16. Then simplify. So 3x minus 5 minus 4 square root of 3x minus 5 minus 4 square root of 3x minus 5 plus 16. Then combine like terms. So positive 16 plus negative 5 is positive 11, and negative 4 square root of 3x minus 5 plus negative 4 square root of 3x minus 5 is negative 8 square root of 3x minus 5. Then bring down the 3x.
Number 4. The given is 8 the square root of 3 multiplied by 9 the square root of 27. First step is just to multiply the coefficients together. 8 times 9 is equal to 72. Then multiply the radical. 27 multiplied by 3 is equal to the square root of 81. And then get the square root of 81. The square root of 81 is 9. Then simplify it. 72 times 9 is equal to 648. 5. The given is the square root of 2 multiplied by the square root of 6. The first step is multiply 2 by 6 is equal to the square root of 12. The square root of 12 is not a perfect square, so get the factor. The factor of 12 is 4 times 3. Then simplified it. The answer is 2 the square root of 3.